Right, so yeah, never done this before. Let's just see how we get on. Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay. This is KUGAN CASSIUS for IFL TV in association with MTK Global. We've never done this before. It's just an idea that was given to me by Anto, actually, to get you two on at the same time. Welcome, Archie Sharp and Zelfa Barrett. Archie, you okay?
Yeah, lovely. Thanks. Yourself?
All good, mate. All good. Zelfa, chilling out there?
Yo, mate, I'm chilling, man. I'm good. I'm chilling.
All right. Well, listen.
Come on to him now. Yeah. I see what you're saying. It goes on and off.
Whoever talks, it's on. Yeah. So obviously your division, when it resumes, was red hot before, but you two are kind of the guys that haven't yet fought in the division. I'll ask you, Zelfa, first. Do you believe because you've moved away from Queensberry and Frank Warren, that fight looks a little bit more distant now with you and Archie?
Nah, because no fight can ever be distant. If anyone's your weight category, any fight could be possible. So I don't ever keep that in a distant mind. Anyone my weight category, I've always got my eye on. She's vice versa. I assume other fighters would think that too. So it's because it's different, like companies or whatnot. The fight is still possible. If something gets made like mandatory, we have to fight each other or whatnot. Then it will happen.
Archie, how do you see that situation that Zelfa's not with your promotional outfit anymore? Do you think that fight is further apart, or do you agree with what Zelfa's saying?
What he said is basically bang on, really, because the thing is, he'd be in the same position as myself. I'm not avoiding any fights, and I'm sure he's not avoiding any fights. If the fights are made for the right money and the right opportunity, then the fight's going to happen. If they come to me and Zelfa tomorrow and offer us X amount of money and this is on the line, then obviously he'll take it and I'll be taking it. So, I think whatever's on the line is the same thing. I keep my eye on all the fighters in the super featherweight division. It's a very busy and a very tough division out there at the minute. And like I say, if the right opportunity comes for any fight, then we'll go from there.
How do you two, I'll start with you, Zelfa, on this, and Archie, you can answer this after. How do you two compare each other's records? Who do you think's got the better resume? Obviously, Zelfa, you've had more fights, but you turned pro within a year of each other. But how do you see each other's resumes, and who do you believe has got the strongest resume? Obviously, the most common fight that you've got in common in your list is Leon Woodstock.
And McCorry.
And McCorry, of course, yes.
But, fights don't really mean anything. I see Archie as a good fighter, so I won't go off his record because experience is a lot. Like when I was an amateur, I didn't have the most amateur experience, but I had world class sparring. I was getting hell off like Scott Quick for 4 rounds, and I was thinking to myself, wow, how are these guys doing 12 rounds? And Reece Roberts. So I don't really go off like his record. I just know he's a good fighter. So. And I look at people's fights by the last fight, because you get judged by your last fight. So, he's a good fighter, and just because I've had more wins than him and more whatever than him doesn't mean he's not a good fighter. I just had more fights than him, and because I put him on a pedestal, I assume that he would have had them wins just like me. So I rate Archie. He's one of the best, to be fair, weights in the country, and I've never not rated him, never not said nothing bad about him because we've got similar styles. He's got his own timing, and with a fighter that's got their own timing, they're dangerous. Some fighters that have got timing, you can catch them, but with Archie, I don't think I'm not saying this in a bad way. Sometimes I think he don't know what he's gonna throw, but he throws it and he catches him. So a fighter like that's a dangerous fighter. So I really rate him. He's one of the best fighters in the country at the weight division.
Archie.
No, do you know what? I don't know if he was expecting this, KUGAN, but fair play to Zelfa, and it's the same here for me, mate. I believe he's a top fighter in the weight division, and it's definitely a fighter that we can't take any granted for. Do you know what I mean? He's a great fighter. He boxed very well for every fight he's had. Obviously, he's boxed well. Very good win against McCorry, and the same with Woodstock. And yeah, like I say, he's a great fighter. But these fights are good, because this is why I'm not going to be on here bad mouthing Zelfa, because he's doing his bit in the ring, and he's doing well, and I'm doing well. I mean, I've got a good ranking now, and he's doing very well with his ranking. So look, the fight at some point may end up happening, but for now we just have to see. But like I say, Zelfa, I appreciate the what you said, and I think you're a great fighter yourself. And one day maybe the fans will get what they want, but we shall see.
Of course, man. Because in boxing, though, like you got to be honest. So that's what I've learned. You can't not be honest in boxing because you always get found out regardless. So when you see a good fighter, you appreciate a good fighter, and that makes you a better fighter because if you come to fight him, you know how 100%. Good they are. You're not gonna kick yourself and say he's fast, but he's not been in the ring with me. No, if the guy's fast, then he's fast. Like that's what makes you a good fighter when you appreciate what they're good at and then what they're not good at. So that's why Archie's always a kind of fighter where, you know, if you're going to fight him, you know you're in for a fight and you know he's a thinking fighter and whatnot. So it's not a fight where you don't ever take a fight lightly, but it's a fight that will make you think, right, okay, you have to be switched on for every second, for every round. So, you know, I'm not saying you should be like in every fight, but that certain name and that certain fighter will make you want to get up at 5 in the morning and run. Maybe want to get up at 4. Yeah. You think, wow, this guy can beat me. So, you know.
Vice versa.
Some fighters like to avoid fighting good fighters, but then they'll never know how good they are. You know, you got to take the risk to be good or to be great. And, you know, and that's what kind of how I've been raised and whatnot. So I will never, you got to credit for every fighter for getting in the ring regardless. But you know when you're in with a good fighter, and you know when you're not in with a good fighter, and you know Archie's a good fighter.
How do you two both compare your mutual opponents, your performances, Archie? How do you compare your wins against Woodstock and McCrory to Zelfa's?
Well, obviously, when I boxed Woodstock at the time, I think a lot of people had me as the underdog because he was the favourite, he was the unbeaten, and he had the belt. I had to go to Leicester to box him to take the belt off of him. So you can look at it in two different ways. I boxed Woodstock when he was unbeaten and he had his belt in his home backyard, and then Zelfa boxed him when he was beaten. But then some could say he was more of a hungrier fighter. Do you know what I mean? So, so you can look at it in two different. You can look at fights in two different ways. I boxed Woodstock and it was a different sort of fight. Well, Barrett done the same actually. He got on the back foot and boxed well. Then I boxed McCrory, obviously. No disrespect to Jordan, but I don't know if you remember my hands. Obviously, after the third round, my hands blew up like golf balls. So I got suspended for 28 days because of that. So I had literally 7 rounds of pain, really. So it was hard to go off on that fight. But look, he boxed Jordan and he stopped Jordan. So he done what he had to do.
Zelfa, your same question to you, really. Your performances against McCrory and Woodstock compared to Archie's?
Of course, styles make fights. You know, me and Archie got a similar style. So it was always going to be kind of the same outcome because he's a boxer, I'm a boxer. He can punch, I can punch. So, you know, and I just executed what I had to do, and that was the result of what happened. I just believed that I'd done what I had to do and I'd done the right thing. And like I said, Archie hadn't said he had bad hands, and that maybe if he didn't have bad hands, maybe it would have stopped him. But you know, I just felt like my back was against the wall because I was coming from a defeat and I won, and then I got injured, done my Achilles in. So it was a fight that just got through at me. So I thought, you know what, I have to take this. And, you know, he was hungry. Woodstock was hungry, man. Like, he was in both positions where if I was to get beat, where would I go? And if he was to get beat, where would he go? Kind of thing. So it's like, okay, the back was against the wall now. So I knew it was on. And then McCrory got beat. And he's probably thinking, well, this is like my last opportunity back in boxing. I'm going to take this all hands. And he was sparring Archie. So it's like, I'm thinking, shit, he's sparring Archie. Yo, he's preparing well. It's like, yo, this is no joke. I'd never think that anyway, but I thought, right, it's on, the heat's on now. So it just spurred me on more. So imagine thinking, these guys are really trying to beat me, man. And so it brought a better side to me. So, and the performance is just showing it.
I know we spoke in Manchester, Zelfa, just before it was announced that you joined Matchroom and Eddie Hearn, but I just wanted you to talk about that now, why you decided to leave Queensberry and Frank and join up with Matchroom and Eddie.
It was just, you know, just for my kind of self, shoulder in Manchester, and you know the big names are there. The big names are where, and I genuinely do believe, no disrespect to anyone, one of the best fighters in Britain at any weight category. You know, with the things I do and in the ring. So I just feel like I deserve the big platforms. I deserve to be at the highest of the pedestals. You know, it's it's one career, and it's all me. I even fell out with my Uncle Pat. You know what I mean, over it. But you know, it's my decision in life, and they done the best for me. They brought the best out of me, and you know, I couldn't thank them enough. But you know, there's no hard feelings because I'm just a piece of meat. But I believe I'm one of the finest pieces of meat. So I just need to know what restaurant I need to go to, and I just believe this is the right platform for me to be where I need to be at.
Archie, what was your reaction to Zelfa leaving Frank and joining Eddie?
Like I say, where I am with Frank at the minute, with my ranking, he's done me well. He's obviously done Zelfa well as well. He's had him out on some good shows, and like Zelfa said, this sport is a very selfish sport to an extent. I've got family and kids. I need to think of myself, and I'm sure Zelfa's the same. So he's had to make a decision based on what he needs to do, and if he feels like he needs to go to Eddie to get the better opportunities, then fair play. You've got to go with that. It don't really surprise me when people say when Billy Joe left them. When at the end of the day, you've got to go for what you think's right, and if that's what Zelfa thinks right for himself, then that's what he's got to do. For me at the minute, where I am, I'm happy, so I'm staying put where I'm at. And like I say, Zelfa's gone and done what he's had to do, and we'll see where that takes him. And I wish him the world, wish him luck.
Yeah, man, thank you.
The only defeat amongst obviously both of you is Zelfa's defeat to Ronnie Clark. What do you take from that? Even though it was a little while ago now, but what do you take from that, Archie?
You see, Ronnie Clark, yeah. I was there at that fight. I boxed on the show. I think it was on the undercard. Obviously, I don't think it was Zelfa's best performance. I think he probably can admit that himself. But the thing is, see, Ronnie Clark, I think people can underestimate him. You know, I've been told. I've never been in a ring with Ronnie, but I've been told the fella can punch like an horse kick. That's what I've been told. So Zelfa has been in a ring with him, and he can let me know if that is the truth. But
yeah, he's tough. He's a tough guy, Ronnie, man. But like, you just got to be fit to fight that guy. And like, I wasn't that fit to fight him. You know what I mean? You got to prepare for that guy. Like, you know what I mean? Whatever time I had for him wasn't enough, and I was hitting him with everything, but I had no power. And I was like, wow, why is he not falling, man? But, you know, I would never take that away from Ronnie Clark. Like, yo, he done what he had to do. And if people ask me, would you go back and change it? No, it's maybe the man I am. Maybe if I would have won that fight and took it on short notice, maybe I would have took a better fight on short notice. And, you know, the same thing could have happened. So it's made me a man. So like, but he is a tough guy, man. And like I said, I respect him for it. Even though he won, I can't help but respect him. But, you know, I respect him.
Is that out of your system now, Zelfa?
Well, that's well and truly gone. That's you know what? Yeah, I just laughed because I remember the time where, yo, KUGAN, you saved me with that interview. I'm not gonna lie, you saved me, man. And I just laughed because all the time people was like, I knew he wasn't that good, and this, that, the other, and whatever. And I thought, all right, well, just wait until you see me properly prepare. And my last two performances, all the people that were saying I wasn't that good are all on me. So I just laughed to myself and think, you know what? It was a life experience, you know. In this boxing game and in life, you know, you take L's. Bernard Hopkins took an L. Bernard Whitaker took an L in France against the French kid. So it's not no big thing. Listen, I'd love to be like Archie now and have an undefeated record, but you know what? It's part of my career. It's part of my path. So I embrace it, man, and it's made me realize that, yo, I had that in me anyway, and you could tell because I went 12 rounds and never done it before. But it's like, nah, that feeling's horrible. So I laugh at it. It's something I just laugh about because I think it won't happen again.
But Archie, if you want to fight the best, and you guys are fighting each other, and there's, like I said, it's credit to your careers that you've kind of fought the Woodstocks and the McCrorys. But if you're going to fight the best, you've got to be prepared for the loss. And it's all very well having that undefeated record, but the stiffer your opposition get and the better quality your opposition get, you've got to be prepared to take losses sometimes.
Yeah, of course. 100%. No one wants to lose, obviously. And yeah, I don't want to lose. But that's not a fear for me because at the end of the day, it's about bouncing back. So Zelfa could have gone two ways. He could have either been the one where everyone thought, "Oh, look, he ain't that good," or he bounced back and does what he's doing. Do you know what I mean? So you can look at it two ways. He's come back well from it. Obviously, I wouldn't want to ever take a loss. Same thing in the amateurs. I was like 25, 26 unbeaten, won everything. And when I did take a loss, it was a big thing. Do you know what I mean? But I have took a loss in the amateurs, and I remember what that felt like. So obviously for me, I don't want to take a loss as a pro. But God forbid if it ever happens, it's about coming back. If that ever happened, it is about coming back, because it's very easy for them to take a loss and stay lost. Do you know what I mean?
Zelfa, I remember speaking to you not immediately after the fight. I know we spoke in Manchester a few days after, but I did ask you at the time that whether kind of the people around you and people's perception about you changed. Did you notice the change in people after suffering a defeat? Because it's the truth. Boxing can be a very fickle sport, and once you have taken a loss, you kind of do see what's real around you. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, of course. I had like people coming to me. At first, I didn't want to go out like my house because I thought, oh, people are gonna ask me about it. I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna go out and get in everyone's face just to get out of my system. And like people that was like, oh man, I put money on you, man. Why didn't you? And then I just think, wow, check these people out. I've just been beat like the first defeat, and they're just try to tear you down in politeness. I had the people like, yo, you got this, it's a minor. A loss is a loss, so what? You bounce back and make you better. And then I had like the bitter people that were smiling in your face are like, oh bro, why you need to get him back? Even now I'm performing and whatever, you get them people that are just still bitter, like, you need to get that guy back. I think, yo, I'm past this guy. This guy can't even get in a room with me now. I wouldn't even give him an opportunity, because we could have had the rematch and he didn't want to fight me. So it's like, no, I'm past you. But it's the bitter people, and it makes you realise, like, yo, like family and people like yourself that I've not knew you all my life, but people that I've knew all my life didn't come to me like you come to me. You know what I mean? So it makes me realise that, wow, these people that knew me all my life, or knew me from the estate or whatever, they really don't want me to see me win anyway. So family and good people, it's always the people, yeah, that you never met, like, all your life, show you more love than the people that you've met all your life don't show you love. It's weird. So, and family's everything, mum. Like, my mum cried with me, like, it's just not a nice thing, you know what I mean? So, like, my mum with me crying with me, I'm thinking, yo, this ain't ever happen again, you know what I mean? And even now, I'd never felt like when my brother died, that was the same feeling. Watching my brother die and losing was like the same feeling. So it's like, nah, man, it's a ripple effect. When you get beat, it doesn't affect you, it affects your family, your trainer. And if they mean a lot to you, it will affect them. So, family is everything, and good people around you is everything, just to keep you motivated and whatnot. So it just made me realise who's really there for you. Like, is it Martinez, Sergio Martinez says, when he got beat, he had like 4 missed calls, and like 3 of them was off his mum. But when he won, he had like 2,000 missed calls, and it's so true,
It's true,
It's so true. I swear, Kug, you don't understand the love I got for you. You saved me with that interview, and people realised how much time I had for the fight and whatnot. It got the story out, and it realised, like, right, well, he's actually a fighter. Like, you can actually fight, And it's like, but like I said, I won't ever change it, because it's made me who I am today. A man, I'm a man of the sport. I'm a seasoned professional. So, I found out the hard way. Hey, I would rather find out in a tough fight and got a win, but I had to find out. And, I know people around me, fighters around me, fighters I probably don't even know, have learned, preparation is the key for everything, And it is what it was.
I don't know whether you two thought that I tried to get you on today to have a little bit of a bicker or whatever, because I knew that you two have got a respect for each other. So I knew that wasn't going to be the case anyway. But it's good to kind of hear you two not being with the same promotional outfit, especially kind of having that respect to each other, and to know that at one stage in your careers, this fight will most likely happen. It's good to hear that.
Yeah, of course. I think, like you say, I'm one of them. I don't really need to be bad enough. The only reason why me and Woodstock kicked off was because he had something to say. Other than that, I just do my thing. I do the talking in the ring. And I can half relate to what Zelfa's saying, even though with my last fight I got the win, but it was a hard fight for me. People didn't realise what I was going through leading up to that fight, and it wasn't a great fight, but people, oh, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. There was a lot of people there telling me, what I didn't do and what I should do. I should give, like you say, give the rematch and get back at people. And I think, and so I do relate there, even though I didn't take the loss, but it could have, the preparation for that fight was terrible and it could have gone that way. So I do relate there as well. But look, there's no point, Badmouth. And like you say, we're the best in the division and the fights are going to come off. Then it'll be the best man wins on the night. At the end of the day, I believe I'm going to win. As others going to believe he's going to win. That's just the boxing. I wouldn't be here in the game if I thought I'm here to lose 21, and I know that'll be the same his end. So we'll both be in the best shape as possible, and we'll put on the best fight for the fans if that day comes. But like I say, in the meantime, where I am in my career, I've got a figure and I've got a reward I want out of for my next few fights. You know what I mean? So, and I'm sure he's got a plan for what he wants.
That's true. That's true because, like I said, Archie's like he's in was it ranked number 3 in the world at the WBO or something. So it makes more sense for him. Like why he's up there in the world, so it makes more sense to keep pressing up than to go back down to domestic level, or whatever level I'm at or whatever. Because if I was in this position, I'd be like, nah, you might. I'm nearly close to a world title. I'm nearly close to buying whatever house in this house and making my mum's life easier. Why? What sort of only a dumb person would go back to go forward.
There you go.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like, it makes sense for him to keep pressing for that because no matter what, the WBO will be like, all right, if Archie keeps winning, sweet, well, he has to fight for that belt. You know what I mean? And then that's to secure his family or whatever, and then the rest is just all a bonus. Where with me, I've not only got like a WBA or WBO kind of belt, so whatever route I'll be taking, I'll be doing the same what Archie's doing. So don't get me wrong, the fight will happen down the line, but I won't really see it being anytime soon because I'm being realistically, he is ranked number 3. You know what I mean? So maybe when he wins the next fight and whatnot, and then beats Jamel Herring or whoever's got it, I'll be like, yo, Archie, bro, yo, I'm here, bro. Give me this shot. But apart from that, I don't know what my next fight's going to be. It could be for like a title belt, and I'll be putting high in the ranking. So at the moment in time, don't get me wrong, I still watch Archie. I've got my eye on him, but he's not really the target. The target is whoever's the champion or whoever's got a world title belt, but you've always got to keep your eye on everyone else around you, which I always do. But at the moment in time, I just know that he will get that shot maybe this time next year. These world champions I've been looking at, like Jack Jamal Herring, was he 31, 32? We're young guys, and it's a young man's game, unfortunately. And, that opportunity will come. And I honestly do think that if he actually keeps doing what he's doing, the opportunity will come for the world title, and I'll just be right there, like, yo, bro, remember that thing we done, bro?
Yeah, no, 100%. No, God bless, bro. I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, man, there's no danger, man.
Well, I've got one more question for both of you, but before I ask it, I just want to kind of ask you about what you guys have been doing to keep yourself occupied in this quite horrendous situation that the whole world is in at the moment. So I'll start with you, Zelfa.
Yo, I've just been ticking over, man. Just been running. I feel like a runner. I've been running every day and just doing like this mad workouts just to keep my fitness up because, fights could happen where it's behind closed doors and it's just shown on TV. And, it's a sport in where it's down to you. So I'm staying as fit as I can. Eddie might give me the call, say, listen, we can fight in July, whatever. Will you be ready? I'll be like, no doubt. I'm hungry. I'm hungry as. So I'll be like, no doubt. So I'm just staying fit and keeping my mind fit, watching boxing. This is just the part, like I said, this is just part of the journey for everyone. It is what it is. I live this isolation life anyway as a fighter. Only thing I do is go out and eat food on a weekend or something, just to treat myself. But me running, sitting in my house playing games, I'm in camp. To me, this is in training camp, so it don't really bother me.
Archie?
Yeah, same sort of thing, really, KUGAN. Obviously, I was supposed to box in April, so I was basically on point of being in match fit, ready to go. And obviously, this has all happened, so I just had to tape it down a little bit. And as it stands, I'm out in July. So I just have to like, just ticking over, mate. Ticking over, spending time with the family, doing a bit, just keeping well, really, mate. And like I say, when that call comes, then I'll be ready to go. That's basically what I'm doing, mate. Just keeping myself in a good, not overdoing it, but just keeping it the level. You know what I mean? Not overtraining, but just keeping it a level there. Enjoying the peace and quiet while I can, without having to run around doing loads of things. I know it's mental indoors, but normally in camp life and everyday life, I'm always running around doing something. So I'm just enjoying it while I can. Spend the time with the family, because once camp starts, then it's going to be in the gym. It's going to be back to active life. So I just got to enjoy what's in front of me at the minute.
All right, final question. I'm going to ask it. Whoever wants to go first, they can go first. Why do you believe you beat the other fighter? And why do you believe you are the better fighter? Archie, first.
You would throw it at me first, yeah? Listen, I believe in my ability. Zelfa kind of answered it there, that if sometimes it looks like I throw shots that people don't know it's coming. So so for me, yeah, I'll just throw unorthodox shots. And I study my opponents. Not saying that he don't, but I live and breathe boxing. So I study Zelfa. He's a good fighter, and I just believe that I can adapt. If things ain't going right, for example, we're going for, I feel like I can adapt more in the fight. So, yeah.
Zelfa?
I don't know. I just honestly believe in my ability and like my lifestyle. Like I said, he lives like a monk in the gym, and I do. You know, even got a gym key and whatnot. But I just believe in my ability and my mind, and I feel like I've got all the attributes, the speed, the power, but my best asset is my mind. And I generally do believe that there's only a few fighters in the world that can outthink me. Because no matter what, I'll have a plan A to a plan C. So, you know, whatever people think they can bring or whatnot, I'll just outthink them. And I don't rely on my ability. I work hard every day in the gym. And I just believe, you know, I've just got a bit more power than Archie, that's all. But yeah,
more power than you, Archie?
You'll think the same, and I'll think the same.
Has he got more power than you, Archie?
Listen, like you say, he could think the same. Like, listen, you can't hit what you can't see, can you, KUGAN?
All right, okay, all right. Well, that was about as much bite as we had today, but it was good. It's good to hear you two.
Sorry to let you down,
I know you two have got respect for each
other. I know, KUGAN, we let you down, man. I'm sorry.
No. It's all good. I like it when this situation happens and you, like I said, you're rivals and you're with different promoters, but kind of you have got that respect for each other. So it is good to hear that.
Of course.
Okay, Zelfa Barrett, Archie Sharp, thank you very much for talking to IFL TV today. Keep yourself safe and hopefully, yeah, boxing returns as soon as possible.
Of course, man. No doubt, man. Hope you both keep safe.